I remember my mom always telling me, you have to do what you say that you're going to do. We sometimes underestimate the impact, the tremendous impact that we're creating in them. What you say matters. Be kind. When you put God at the center of your life, everything falls into proper place. Hello and welcome to another episode of Tu Aroma de Mujer, or in English, You're Sent as a Woman. My name is Maria Cristina Valencia, and today is a very, very important day for me. It's June 19, 2026, and it happens to be my son Sebastian's 25th birthday. So, in honor of parenthood, I have named this episode The Beauty and Responsibility of Parenthood. Because you have heard me say so many times, I so love to be a mother. It's been one of my greatest blessings. And as we reflect now on Sebastian's 25th birthday and our journey of what we've been through, I couldn't help to think about my own journey as a daughter with my mother. My mother was an extremely loving, caring woman, and I only had the opportunity to live with her for 24 years before she passed. But in those 24 years of my life, as I had her guiding me and being my best friend, she taught me very valuable lessons that I have carried throughout my life, and I have been able to apply them as a mother. I remember my mom always telling me, you have to do what you say that you're going to do. And not only do what you're going to say, do what you're going to say that you're going to do, but how you're going to do it really matters. The way that you treat people really matters. So in that statement, she was telling me or guiding me on the two most valuable lessons that I think I've learned from my mom. One is integrity. You have to do what you say that you're going to do. Your word matters. She used to tell me all the time, your word matters, and don't ever compromise your values. Because once you say that you do something, that you are something, don't compromise that in integrity. And the other part of that statement was how you do it also matters, which is tied to kindness. How we treat other people when we do what we say that we're going to do is all about kindness. And when I think about her words, she was also very firm and very disciplined. Her word, her yes was a yes, and her no was a no. I remember that so clearly. Mi sí es sí y mi no es no. This is going to be kind of like in the Spanglish episodes, since we're going to be sharing stories from my past. Why not only words matter, but the importance of how we learn that words matter. And here's a very sensitive topic that I want to talk about, and I briefly mentioned that in my book. As we have this beauty responsibility, because it's a beautiful responsibility to be parents, how we're talking to our children, what we're saying to them, and we're modeling to them, we sometimes underestimate the impact, the tremendous impact that we're creating in them as little children in their character. Words of affirmation. That's what she meant. What you say matters. Be kind. Once we as a parent are able to talk to our child and give them words of affirmation, encouragement, support them, let them know how much they are loved, it brings a complete sense of security of whose they are, of who they are. They can grow and flourish in a much different way. When they grow up, that is going to show as resilience, as security, as character, as kindness, and most importantly, how they relate with those around them. Because they have not been wounded by our words. They have not been wounded by our action towards them. Completely the opposite. They have been protected. They have been nourished in confidence of who they are. But then again, the opposite is also true. If we as parents start speaking to our children with words of criticism, with neglect, with rejection, with harsh words, how is that going to reflect in their character? How are these adults, and we see them more and more, more than ever, how adults are not being able to have healthy relationships, and what type of attachment style we're creating for them, because they don't know that that wound came from the childhood. They don't know why they are the way that they are, fearing rejection, fearing abandonment, or thinking that they are never enough by the words that we implanted. There's a passage in the Bible that says that our tongue has the power of life and death. El poder de la vida y la muerte está en la punta de nuestra lengua. And when we understand the power behind that statement, we have the power to either give words of life or words of death to whoever is around us, and most importantly, to the ones that God has entrusted us. It's a sacred responsibility that we have as parents as how to shape these future leaders, husbands, fathers. My mother also used to tell me, you guys, meaning me and my siblings, you're just alone. You're a gift that God gave me as alone. And my responsibility is to raise you so you can go out to the world. Nos decía, ustedes son solamente un préstamo. Están aquí prestados por Dios. Son de Dios y están prestados para que yo los mande al mundo. Which is exactly what I just said. We have the responsibility to shape the future husband, the future wife, the future mother, father, leaders, CEOs, presidents. It's in our hands. And in this moment, I know that some of you know that my son Sebastian is the one who wrote the preface of my first book, Tu Aroma de Mujer. And when I was reflecting on our 25 years of journey together, I do have to say that in a way, Sebastian has been the co-author of this book, because he has been with me in many of the circumstances, in many of the scenarios that I explained here, what we went through, not only as a witness, but when I was reflecting on that, I wanted to read you a little passage, which is in Spanish I can translate, of what he wrote as his last paragraph of the preface. As it says, en última instancia, creo que uno de los aportes más grandes de Tu Aroma de Mujer no es solo lo que puede hacer por el lector, sino también lo que permite a ese lector hacer por los demás. Ultimately, what I think about one of the greatest features of this book, Tu Aroma de Mujer, is not only what it does for the reader, but what the reader can do for others as he's being shaped as a young man now to go into the world. Aunque cada uno de nosotros tiene su propio y único propósito, todos compartimos la capacidad que tenemos de generar un impacto positivo en los demás. Even though we all have our unique purpose, we collaborate together to make an impact, a positive impact in those around us. Así como los principios que nos inculcaron nuestros padres definen nuestro carácter, el impacto que genera la lectura de Tu Aroma de Mujer tiene el poder de influir y transformar a cualquiera que esté a tu alrededor con la misma profundidad. And this is what touched me the most, because he is saying the same way that the principles that were given to us by our parents have the power and the impact to define our character, is the same power that this book can do for the reader. So it's really an honor for me to be Sebastian's mother, to tell you the truth. He's not a perfect person. None of us are. But the way that I have seen this young man become to be, and shaped in the image of God and who God has wanted him to be, the way that he behaves in his work, with the ways that he behaves around any people, and mostly the way that he treats his life partner, Emma, more than one time has brought tears to my eyes. How he has been able to apply every single principle, every single lesson of life that we've had to be shaped of who he is today. So today, as part of his 25th birthday, I would like to announce that I finished and I wrote my second book. But in this case, this second book is completely written for him and is called Little Did I Know, the Sebastian Valencia Story, a legacy of love, faith, family, and purpose. And why did I write this book? Because as I was reflecting on Sebastian's 25 years of life, I have clearly seen that it's not only the legacy that I'm carrying from my parents that have shaped me, but the way that I have been a mother, or the fact that he has been my son and the lessons that we've shared together have also completely changed me and transformed me. Sebastian has been a teacher for me in many, many, many ways, in the ways that he has been able to react and respond to circumstances that a young boy should have never been exposed. He has taken with so much maturity that I can tell now that sometimes I even go to him for advice. Sebastian, what would you do in this scenario? How can I process this situation? Because of all the wisdom that he has been able to have, just because he has been following some steps. So as I first show this book, never seen before, and he's going to see it today when I see him for his birthday, I think that one of the most valuable chapters that I have in the book is chapter 8, which is 25 lessons for 25 years of life. The lessons that I want to leave him. And I can share with you a couple. Lesson number 1, put God first in everything. When you put God at the center of your life, everything falls into proper place. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Matthew 6:33. Lesson number 6, believe in yourself. Confidence isn't about being the best. It's about knowing who you are and whose you are. Lesson 8, learn from mistakes. You will fall. That's part of life. What matters is getting up, learning, and deciding to do better. Lesson 16, treat Emma like a gift from God. Protect her, respect her dreams, pray with her, laugh with her, build a life where both of you continue growing together, never apart. The one who finds a wife finds favor with God. Proverbs 18:22. Stay teachable. No matter how much knowledge you gain, never stop learning. Wisdom comes from remaining humble, enough to grow. And lesson 24. I will not read you 25 because that's a very personal to him, but 24, never drift away from God. There will be seasons of success, pressure, uncertainty, and change. Stay anchored in prayer, scripture, and faith, no matter where life takes you. Remain in me, and I also remain in you. John 15:4. And as I write or read these lessons to you, I also reflect on something very important about parenting. I was thinking, do I remember what gift I received from my father or mother when I was 8 years old? Or where they took me for dinner on my 18th birthday? What was my birthday party when I turned 1 or 2? Without a shadow of a doubt, you guys would not remember. I don't remember. Because sometimes we think that legacy is built by creating these valuables or what we give to our children. But what they need is your presence. That's what builds legacies. It's not the material gifts, it's how they feel when they're around you and how you make them feel. That is something that they will never, ever forget. I will never forget how my mother made me feel with those words of encouragement when I needed advice, when I needed to cry. I will never forget how I felt in her presence, secure, in peace, completely loved. And that's what the intention of this book to Sebastian is, for him to go over and read it and know that he is my legacy, and that all that I would like for him to do is carry on those principles, to be always mindful that where he carries himself and the words that he says will definitely impact those around him. And you might be thinking right now, wow, I am a parent and maybe I said something to my children that I should have never said, that really could have hurt them, or I know that hurt them. Well, let me tell you something, it's never too late. It is never too late for you as a parent to pick up the phone and call your child. I don't care if they're 7, 20, 52, or 60. If you still feel it in your heart that you need to say something to your child, a word of affirmation and encouragement and who they are to you, don't leave it for tomorrow. It's never too late. Pick it up and let them know how you feel, who they are to you. And the same thing goes for those children that know that we're hurt. First of all, it's not your fault. But second of all, it's not the fault of your parents either. Sometimes we just carry from generations to generations things that we don't even know that were passed to us. And I am sure that your parents did the best that they could in their ability as they were raising you without even knowing the impact that they were probably creating. So the same goes to you. If you are a son or a daughter that feels that was hurt by the way that your parents treated you, it's not too late either. You can pick up the phone and call them and have a conversation. Have a conversation that is going to restore and is going to free you both. Now that we can understand that there's time, because the power of the word is still alive and you can still apply it to make it right and to leave with those seeds in your heart. Not with what happened, but what you can do as parents and children can say these words of affirmation to one another. For me, I close today on his 25th birthday, letting him know that I could not be prouder of who he is. Indeed, has been a 25 years of journey of suffering. We've gone through a lot, but the way that I see him now is so much respect and honor for the man that he has become. I honor who he is, what he has done, all the achievements, but mostly I honor his value, his character. He doesn't shake, he doesn't give in, he doesn't bend. And little did I know that that little boy that God entrusted me as my son was going to be one of my greatest teachers. And by far, little did I know that he was going to be the best gift that God has ever given me. So happy birthday, Sebi. Feliz cumpleaños, Sebi. Te amo con todo mi corazón. And I hope that this message could encourage both parents and children to know the beauty and the responsibility of parenthood. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, follow us, and we will see you in the next episode of Tu Aroma de Mujer. Bye bye.